We also had the passing of the mighty bomber in Calypso,
yes.
Really a hit to our entertainment industry here in Trinidad and Tobago. Continuing to recognize their significant contribution, and it's interesting to note, I think the bomber was the one, well, I think I heard my parents, my father speaking to it, that would have been that one that sang about recognizing him before he goes.
That's right.
And not waiting until he's gone to recognize him posthumously. But those are the circumstances sometimes that take over.
That's right. I see someone saying here, is Kenny J real?
Yes. yes, Kenny J.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I know the gentleman. Thank you so much. But Julian, like we said, it is a good morning. It's a beautiful Monday morning. School has reopened. Public servants are back out to work. We're seeing in the news where public servants have until the 4th.
Yes.
The 4th, which is tomorrow.
No, the middle of January.
But we're hearing here that they have until the 4th to make a decision.
Oh, okay.
They have, in the news today, they have until the 4th, which is tomorrow, which I'm wondering here what happened to the mid-January date, but they have until the 4th to decide. All right?
Well, the last, and we'll have to get some verifications on that. I know the last indication would have been mid-January, being given as the period until which public officers, those who serve and are paid by the state, will have an opportunity to make a determination based on their vaccination status. And then, of course, you still have the unions that are, clamoring and raising challenges towards it, as early as, in terms of you're already hearing tutors speaking out on the fact that ultimately it's one thing to say you want a safe zone and you want all teachers to be vaccinated, and then on the flip side, obviously, all students are allowed within the school space now, whether vaccinated or not, because we don't want to deprive our students and our young people of that opportunity for an education. So ultimately, it's left to be seen how this will obviously pan out within our TNT space and more directly within our Tobago space. And as I mentioned, within our Tobago space here, interested at that, one of the things that has come up in recent times, and that's one of the areas that we'll be speaking to this morning, is the concern regarding the fact that there are certain areas by way of the Tobago House of Assembly Act and the law that governs Trinidad and Tobago, that the Tobago House of Assembly has some control over in terms of making a determination. And therefore, as a result of that, we'll be chatting with our first guest this morning on that topic. Who do we have first in the lineup this morning to treat with that topic of where there may be some jurisdiction on the part of the Tobago House of Assembly?
All right, so we'll be chatting with Max James, former Secretary for the Division of Labor, Cooperative and Consumer Affairs. Now this is back then. The division name has since changed.
Yes.
All right, so Max James is going to be on the program, chatting with us on that issue. But as it relates to what I mentioned earlier on, public sector employees must declare vaccination status and intention by 4th January as government presses on. So that's what was in the news over the weekend.
Right, and we're also going to have on the rundown this morning, we have Timothy McLeod, and that's the owner and trainer of Define Fitness Obstacle Course. So we're going to be chatting with Timothy McLeod when we are in the lineup here this morning. And in our final segment, who do we have?
We will be chatting with Khadija, a recording artist, on Can't Stay Away video launch. So it's happening here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show.
All right. So that's an idea for you in our lineup here this morning, the rundown here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show, viewers. Ria, did we get in our birthday shout-outs for this morning?
We have not, and we've got to kick off. We've got to do it.
Yes. So this morning, I just want to do main birthday shout-out this morning is Carol Daniel. Yes, Carol Daniel, good morning and happy birthday to you. She's starting that year for us, and we want to wish you a very happy birthday. Trust that you have an enjoyable one today. And we're also sending out birthday greetings to Ayana Benjamin Charles. Good morning, Ayana Benjamin Charles, and happy birthday to you, coming from the Tobago Updates family. Ria?
All right. I actually do not have any.
All right.
I do not have any for today. All right. So I guess it's time for us to go to that. In fact, not even it's time for us to encourage our viewers to share the live.
Share the live.
Share the live. Share the live.
Has got to stop. Good thing for those going greener, stepping up to save the day. Everyday heroes in their own way. You too can show you care. Recycle aluminum, plastic, glass, and Tetra Paks with iCare. Gather up the empties. Take them to your nearest iCare spot. They're all across the country. Check iCare TT and let's clean up. Help clear our drains and landfills. Stop the flood. So simple to do good. Recycle now with iCare. Let's all do our part. Show Sweet TNT we love you with all of our heart. Visit iCare TT for more info.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
To all Tobagonians and visitors of this beautiful island, the Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is seeking your efforts and support in keeping a clean and organized, friendly environment. In doing so, drop-off bins are located at strategic areas around Tobago for your recyclable materials such as plastics, aluminum and steel cans, glass bottles and Tetra Paks in bags, and let's protect our environment. Our own Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is here to propel that change. Look for the white bin nearest to your area.
Carnival is the time when you let yourself go to that place in your soul that your mind want to go, holding on to a bumper and just whining away your life. So when you see them girls coming and they whining down low, it have nobody outside there, you know? And that's a sad thing, because we want to get back to some level of normalcy, and the only way to do that is by taking the vaccine. So TNT, let's do this. Let's get back to normal. Please don't hesitate. Vaccinate.
Citizens, get the vaccine for you, me, and TNT. Kindly sponsored by NLCB, Disalcott.
Jump up and down like you just don't care. It's carnival time. You could feel it in the air. This I wanna go on clear.
The Grinch.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. We're coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Just in case you're wondering about the aerial shot behind us here this morning on this first day of the year, Monday the 3rd of January 2022. We want to express our thanks and appreciation. This is courtesy Kerry Walcott. You know, he's known for those kind of aerial shots and so highlighting the beauty and the gem that is Tobago. Indeed, I love Tobago. And on set with me this morning in this segment, we have Max James, and as former secretary within the Tobago House of Assembly, and certainly Max James is no stranger in our Tobago space when it comes to giving a political perspective on issues related to Tobago, and in fact even at the national level. This morning we are chatting about mandatory vaccination and its implications. Good morning, Max James.
Good morning.
And how are you doing on the first day of the year? Happy New Year to you. Well, the first working day.
Yeah, I feel elated. I feel good. Just had my little shot of ginger to keep the COVID away.
Yes, yes, yes. And in fact, you know, I just had my cup on set there, taking a sip.
What
and that's because my grandmother said, you know, you have to have, I think it's this, what do you call it? Coca-liquor, something. Yeah, I don't even know the names too well, but I trust my grandmother when it comes to that. Good morning, Granny Eula there. So I trust her when it comes to that. She will prepare the things and say, yes, you have to do that because you're going to have to do plenty talking. You're going to have to do plenty talking.
Yes.
All right, so this morning we're talking about the mandatory vaccination and its implications within the Tobago space, and in fact Trinidad and Tobago at that. We have this scenario where the Prime Minister has given an indication for the need for the declaration of your vaccination status of all public officers. You know, and more than that, the implication will come in terms of potentially losing your job, or as they have referred to it, going into furlong by the middle of January. We've seen where you would have been featured in an article speaking to the fact that in the Tobago space, the jurisdiction for the Tobago House of Assembly may extend beyond just simply following or complying, and the THA may actually have some leverage. So we want to start the conversation, you know, from that perspective this morning. In our previous conversation, we spoke very broadly to what was being demanded, or what was being requested rather, last year. This time around, we want to get into, or to zone in rather, to a better understanding of where those responsibilities lie with the Tobago House of Assembly.
Right. So thank you for the question, and I'm happy we started there. There's a little known act that is called Act number 8 of 1988. Is an act that positioned the public officers within the scope and purview of the Tobago House of Assembly. What did that act actually do? If you have it on screen, do you have it on screen? Yeah.
We should be able to pull it up just in a little bit.
So, after the passage of Act number 37 of 1980, that was the first Tobago House Assembly Act that put in place the Tobago House of Assembly and defined its roles and responsibilities. We had a problem where the secretaries were not well defined, and there was this polemic between public officers, quote-unquote, public officers, and the assemblymen. So that was resolved by the passage of this Constitution Amendment, Act number 8 of 1988. What did this act actually do? So if you go back to the Constitution, in fact, let's go back firstly to Act number 8, Constitutional Act 8 of 88. It changed the definition of public officer to include a meaning that says the public officer is also in the service of the Tobago House of Assembly. That made the Tobago House Assembly an employee in its own right, and it clarified the status of the public officers. That is to say, you had earlier in sections 4, 5, I think, section 5 of the Tobago House Assembly Act, which says the Tobago House of Assembly is a body corporate. So what that would have meant was that the employees within the Tobago House Assembly could have been regarded as persons under the SASC regulations or a corporation. So the SASC regulations are statutory, so they would have been functioning if that was accepted in the literal meaning of a body corporate. What it would have meant was that those public officers or former public officers would have fallen under the scope of the SASC regulation, that is the Statutory Authority Service Commission, and whose regulations and rules would have been applied mutatis mutandis, meaning wherever and whenever necessary. And that could not have happened going forward because it would have caused confusion with regard to pensions and the authority of the Service Commission, the Public Service Commissions, and so forth. So the Constitution itself was amended. What did the Constitution say? It says, public service means, subject to the provisions of subsections 4 and 5, the service of the government of Trinidad and Tobago in a civil capacity. So they were civil officers, civil servants. But falling under the Tobago House Assembly, which in law is a body corporate, you would have had that confusion. So they had to pass Act number 8 of 1988 to bring clarity and to put the legal definition properly in place to make those workers or officers under the Tobago House Assembly public officers or civil servants, as we loosely say. All right, so that would have clarified that.
So this was passed in April. This was passed in 1988.
1988, and took effect from 1980 when the Assembly came into being.
Right, okay.
In the new dispensation of Tobago, so to speak, all right?
So just so that we're clear,
right,
what this change or this amendment in this section with the public service did is, if I'm to use it in layman terms, it gave authority to service in the context of the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
Or of the Tobago.
Service of the Tobago.
So in other words, Tobago had its own public service.
Okay.
And, and the public service, as it were, fell under the jurisdiction of that executive body, which is the Tobago House of Assembly. What that would mean by extrapolation, by extension, is that the chief secretary has his own public service, has a chief administrator, secretaries, and administrators. What that would mean is that should or could the Prime Minister take an action that extends to the Tobago House Assembly, effectively outstanding the powers and responsibilities of the Tobago House Assembly as an employer. That is the issue. And whether the Chief Secretary would allow that. He has already complained that you're likely to have 50% of the workforce under furlough. And then he would not be able to function. And by extension, Tobago would not be able to function. And I'm very suspicious of the move by the Prime Minister because I know he's going to expect resistance because the law does not give him or the cabinet jurisdiction over the Tobago House of Assembly. The question would be, next question would be, how will the cabinet or the government cause the assembly, or could the assembly, or how will the assembly, rather, I think that's the better answer, how will the assembly enforce that mandate? Is it that he's going to put a policeman at every door of the assembly? What legal instrument can the Attorney General, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Health bring to bear on the Tobago House of Assembly? Because if they are allowed to do that, then they have effectively taken over the public service in Tobago.
So question, this would not be the first indication, that the Prime Minister has made at the national level in terms of, at the end of the day, Prime Minister for Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, we just saw the public service throughout Trinidad and Tobago enjoy the leverage of a week off,
I'm glad
so to speak, in terms of the 24th, right down to the end of the year, and most public servants are now returning to work. That wasn't a proclamation on the part of the Chief Secretary. That was the Prime Minister for Trinidad and Tobago.
And I think the Chief Secretary, all due respect to him, he would have dropped the ball there. He ought, in my respectful view, ought to have said to the Prime Minister, no, this is my public service. And that order, you have to speak with me. In other words, what the Constitution in my mind envisaged was a consultative process when you're going to do anything within the public service generally of Trinidad and Tobago. So that I was particularly worried why the Chief Secretary, I won't use the word capitulated, but why he didn't see that. Or if he saw it, then maybe he gave it a blight. I prefer to say he gave it a blight. But by the law, this is his public service. And if you have to do anything, you have to consult me. And if I disagree, then, and if you feel you're unhappy with my disagreement, then you take it to court. But for interpretation, the Attorney General likes interpretation of law, right? So let us see. But the Chief Secretary must know that this is his public service, right? And therefore, the Prime Minister or any minister cannot make a decision and the Tobago House of Assembly lapses up. Now, you may say this is a pandemic and the Prime Minister should be, or the Cabinet should be able to do certain things to govern the entire country.
Correct.
But if it is that the matter is urgent, then why don't we institute it now? So it's clear to me that it cannot be urgent. I think that's the linchpin question. Was it urgent? If it's urgent, why wait until the 15th? So therefore, I would think that if you want to enforce Section 75 of the Tobago House Assembly Act, that is a cabinet for Trinidad and Tobago, then I don't understand why you're waiting for almost a month or 20 days to enforce something that you deem to be exigent or urgent. And if that is so, the argument falls.
So one of the things we want to be able to touch on a little bit more. So I hear the reference to, in terms of this aspect of the Constitution and the law that gives that leverage to the Tobago House of Assembly. Sure. Are you therefore saying that this ties into every area of responsibility that's under Tobago as per the Tobago House of Assembly Act 40?
Well, the Act is very clear. It made certain schedules. The 5th schedule, the 6th schedule, and the 7th schedule. And therefore, the law recognizes that there are specific rules for the Tobago House of Assembly, 5th schedule, specific rules for the government, 6th schedule, and a collaboration within the 7th schedule. So therefore, as I said, it envisages collaboration. In fact, the law even provides for the Chief Secretary, if he wishes to attend meetings of the cabinet, so that it is no gainsaying what the intent of Parliament was in respect of the governance of the public service in Trinidad and in Tobago. And therefore, the cabinet must recognize that. In fact, the word responsibility or responsible for, it says in the 6th schedule, the government is responsible for these things. It is the same language we use in the 5th schedule, responsible for. So it seems to be that it is perfectly legal and perfectly proper that to interpret the word responsible for as being under the legal ambit, and there should be no ambiguity between what the Tobago House Assembly is legally responsible for vis-a-vis the role of the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
All right. So, viewers, we have it there in this segment. Max James giving us a clear indication that the purview in these areas, so the Chief Secretary, does have some leverage by virtue of his interpretation of the law, which may or may not see the Chief and the Tobago House of Assembly going in line with this current determination, particularly as it relates to only public officers who are vaccinated being able to go forth within the public service and all those areas covered under the government of the Trinidad and Tobago. And we would have seen some matters being raised in 2021 where the Chief Secretary would have indicated, particularly those officers under the Tobago House of Assembly, they're currently looking into the matter to make a determination as to whether or not this can work in the Tobago space. Folks, coming up in the next segment, we continue the conversation with Max James, and Ria would be joining us on set. We want to remind you, those of us joining us via the live, remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Gone greener. In TNT, we love to lime and laugh a lot, but our waste hurts the earth, and that has got to stop. Good thing for those going greener, stepping up to save the day. Everyday heroes in their own way. You too can show you care. Recycle aluminum, plastic, glass, and Tetra Paks with iCare. Gather up the empties. Take them to your nearest iCare spot. They're all across the country. Check iCare TT and let's clean up. Help clear our drains and landfills. Stop the flood. So simple to do good. Recycle now with iCare. Let's all do our part. Show Sweet TNT we love you with all of our heart. Visit iCare TT for more info.
Talk, watch, and listen to win big this Christmas with a Digicel Prime Bundle. The more you watch, cheer, and dance to your favorite Digicel apps, the more chances you have to win thousands of shake-to-win prizes. Enter to win grand prizes of $100,000, home appliances, and groceries valued at $50,000 or free Digicel services for a year. Visit My Digicel or dial *323# to buy a Prime Bundle today. And talk, watch, listen to win big with Digicel. Better together this Christmas.
M&ETV Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning again, viewers, and welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We continue the discussion at this time with Mr. Max James, who was the former Secretary for Labor, Cooperatives and Consumer Affairs. Viewers, our discussion continues on mandatory vaccinations and its implications. Now, Mr. James, while I listened to your interview with Julian a little while ago, there's a law for Trinidad and Tobago. Then there is a THA Act that governs public servants in Tobago.
Yes.
Let's go from, what is on the law books, what is in the Constitution. I feel as though, there are a lot of persons out there who do not know the law, who do not know what the THA Act says, and because of that, persons are worried, and well, they're definitely walking in fear.
Well, the public officers should know. Each secretary should know. Each administrator should know. The chief secretary should know. The chief administrator should know. It's a very serious matter. The law gives you certain powers under Act number 40 of 1996.
Right.
That law was the successor to Act 37 of 1980. Then the Constitution was amended by Constitution Amendment Act 88 of 88, which properly defined and put in a legal perspective the public officers in the service of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, or, if you have it on screen, or, that little word,
do we have that information? I'm hoping that we have that information.
It's a huge little word, so to speak, or of the Tobago House of Assembly. And the law further says in section 25, the functions of the Assembly, for the better performance of its functions, the Assembly is hereby empowered to do all such acts and take all such steps as may be necessary for or incidental to the exercise of its powers, ...
Okay, I think we have it up on screen.
And so if they're able to zoom in on the specific provision, Constitution Amendment Act number 8 of 1988, it defines the two services. One, it says, and substituting the word and giving it a new meaning. That is to say, one set of public officers, if you're in Trinidad and under those ministries, you're in the service of the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Once you're in the Tobago, you're under the service of the Tobago House of Assembly. And the chief secretary, by virtue of his status, of political status or administrative status, he is the chief secretary that administers the functions given to him under the 5th schedule and the collaborative areas under the 7th schedule. Now, as an employer, you cannot whimsically, without consultation or at the bilateral level, introduce a new term and condition of employment. It cannot be unilateral.
Which is what we're talking about.
Which is what we're talking about. And therefore, you're going to introduce as a measure, there is a RMU, a recognized majority union, within the civil service, the public service, which in this case, in Tobago's case, will be the Public Services Association or the Estate Police Association in terms of those the security arm, the domestic security arm within the public service itself. So if there's a dispute, there is a procedure laid out in the Industrial Relations Act for the resolution of disputes. So you'll have to find how we will function within the ambit of the Industrial Relations Act. And if it goes to industrial action, no side can strike or lock out. What they are contemplating there is lockout of the public officers. And I want to tell the public officers that the law protects you. I expect the PSA to get involved as the RMU within the public service, and to tell the minister or ministers or the prime minister, look, we are now in dispute. There's a process to lock out. So if you're going to say come the 15th, I show you or don't show you my vaccination status, what you're effectively doing is to lock me out. And lock out means certain things within the industrial relations process for for dealing with that kind of thing. So you can't just say, I'll lock you out. If you do that, then you're creating an industrial relations dispute.
Isn't my vaccination status a private matter? Shouldn't it be a private matter? Is it not a private matter? If I am HIV positive, if I, shouldn't that, I mean, is it
whatever I do with my body, whatever you do with your body,
should be
it's
a private matter.
So I don't understand, but I'm not even dealing with the privacy of that part. That is the easy part. It is the question of the lockout. If you tell me I cannot enter into the public service on January the 15th, then you are effectively locking me out of the public service. Now, and lockout means that can only be arrived at after the Minister of Labour gets involved, does what he has to do within a specific time frame, and then either party can give notice in respect of industrial action.
All right.
Without notice. So that we haven't reached that stage. But the question is that I want public officers, and certainly calling upon Mr. Leroy Baptiste, well, Mr. Duke is no longer there. And I don't see how he, Mr. Duke, can be sitting as Deputy Chief Secretary, knowing these provisions. I'll be very worried if he acquiesces and supports that mandate of the Prime Minister.
Well,
because clearly the Assembly is an employer. You have employees. There are processes, but you cannot be unilateral in the introduction of a new term and condition of employment. To tell me as a public officer, or yourself as a public officer, if that was so, that I must present my vaccination status. If I don't show you, then you are locking me out, or I'm going to be furloughed. Then that will be problematic, because the Industrial Relations Act was passed by a certain majority. And if you're going to change anything within that act regarding any term and condition of employment, or in respect of the arbitration of any matter, or the introduction of a new measure, then to my mind that act has to be amended. And I don't think the government has the majority in Parliament to amend that act. It doesn't have the majority to even amend Constitutional Amendment Act 8 of 88, because that was passed by a 2/3 majority.
All right. In the interest of time, I've got to ask you just one more question. What should the public do? How can public servants, I don't want to say protect themselves, but what stand can they take?
Well, we have to see the measure first. And upon seeing the measure, then we can act. But I would protest. We are not in a state of emergency. And I would tell the public officers to resist that, to call upon their trade union to resist that, to call upon their trade union to make the proper representations in respect of their tenure of employment. But I think the law, for now, is on the side of the public officers in respect of any mandate that is forced upon them. But the interesting thing is that, again, the Honorable Farley Augustine has his public service. Will he allow the intrusion by the central government into his public service? He must know and accept that this is his public service. The law says so. Okay. And therefore, he alone, for the time being, must determine what happens inside there. The law is on his side. I don't think Mr. Augustine is going to squander his political capital.
Thank you so much for chatting with us this morning, Mr. Max James. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure having you on the program and being able to bring this information to the public. So viewers, coming up at this point, we've got the good stuff. And in our good stuff today, we say congratulations to Kenya Yaya Cordner, the TTFA Senior Women's Player of the Year. If you know anyone or anything that you'd like to have featured on The Good Stuff, you can email us at info@tobagoupdates.com or call or WhatsApp 284-6597. That number again, 284-6597. So congratulations to you again this morning, Kenya Yaya Cordner, or Tobago girl. All right, so we encourage you viewers to share the live, share the live, share the live.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Morning, good morning, put a smile on your
Trinidad and Tobago, I am Nigel Paul, winner of a bronze medal at the recently concluded IABA World Boxing Championships for men held in Serbia in the 92 plus kgs category. I got vaccinated to represent the red, white and black with distinction. So now I'm asking you, all citizens, to please get the vaccine. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for the country. We the athletes want to train every day and bring back medals for you. So don't hesitate, vaccinate today.
Citizens, get the vaccine for you, me, and TNT. Don't hesitate. Vaccinate today. Kindly sponsored by NLCB, DeSalcott.
To all Tobagonians and visitors of this beautiful island, the Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is seeking your efforts and support in keeping a clean and organized, friendly environment. In doing so, drop-off bins are located at strategic areas around Tobago for your recyclable materials such as plastics, aluminum and steel cans, glass bottles and tetra packs in bags, and let's protect our environment. Our own Tobago Recycling Resource Initiative is here to propel that change. Look for the white bin nearest to your area.
good morning, good morning, put a smile on Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Good morning, Tobago. I am Candice Jackson and I am coming to you live from Pascal Village Extension in Lambo, where we are here at Define Fitness. And of course, this morning, we are talking about New Year resolutions. And of course, we know for a lot of you out there, one of your New Year resolutions might be around the theme of staying healthy, staying fit. And, you know, you might be still wondering after you ate all that food for the Christmas and, you know, you get the little belly going and you're wondering, okay, now how can I get into shape? You know, there are options, there are the gyms and so on. But today we are going to show you a very unique way where you can stay in fit and have fun with it. So I'm going to introduce you to the owner of the Fine Fitness. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Great. Now, we are here at, I mean, you've seen a bunch of contraptions around. We're basically at an obstacle course, right? So tell me a little bit about what are we seeing around here? What are all these contraptions?
This is this exercise and nature mixed into one. So we have some obstacles, we have trails, we have a rest area, we have a place to have fun. Place to enjoy yourself and lose weight and has to have fun right through.
So tell me a little bit about how this whole thing got started. You know, what was the inspiration for doing something like this?
I love exercise and I love nature. So I said, you know what, let me combine it. And make people can come have fun, enjoy yourself, and just love nature.
Now, tell me a little bit about, you know, what does it take to be a part of this? Right? Do we have to be, like, do you have to be at some sort of fitness level before you can get started? Or do you need to be at some high level? Like, who can be a part of something like this?
Anyone, be it child, be it adult, be it any age. Just come and just be brave and just come to have fun. You can be at any fitness level.
And what tell me a little bit about what do you have available here? Because I know you have several courses.
Right.
So tell me a little, just go into some details and explain to us a little bit about the courses that you actually have for persons to take part in.
Well, right now we have 6 trails. We have obstacle, we have the cargo net, we have the inverted wall, we have the monkey bar, we have the spider web. So it's just a place just to come and have fun and just enjoy every single obstacle. We also have aerobics. We have on top the platform there. We do CrossFit. We do strength training. So it is a variety of things.
Right. So for anybody who you know, not so comfortable yet about their bodies and trying to figure out how they can stay in fit and how they can be healthy, this is the place for them to come.
Most definitely, most definitely.
And you also have, as part of the thing, there's a place for dogs.
Yes, we do some dog training. In Easter time, we then have obstacles for dogs.
Wow. Right? So tell me, how can persons get involved with something like this?
You can go on our Facebook or Instagram at Define Fitness and get all the information that you want.
Yes. And folks, it's, like I said, it's Define Fitness, right? I remember a couple of days ago when my producer introduced me, he was like, you know, we're going to go on Define Fitness. And I'm like, Define Fitness? Do I need to get a dictionary? No. The literal name is Define Fitness. And I want you to tell me a little bit about why you chose that name, Define Fitness.
Because I want to define your body, change it to how you want it to be. That's the reason why.
And why is that so important?
Self-esteem. It is important for you to figure out about yourself, for you to look good and feel good. And this is a place where you could do the both of them things and have fun and just feel sure about yourself. Exercise is very important. It should be in everyday life. It's very important.
And it does not need to be confined to a gym or something like that,
no,
right?
Outdoors, on the trees, on the sun, it is beautiful. Far, far beautiful.
And tell me a little bit about how that helps even with your mental health and so on.
Somehow when you're walking through this place, you feel so relaxed, you feel energized, you feel like if you belong here. This nature is where everybody should be because it just feels relaxing and comfortable. While exercising, you don't even feel the the weight of anything. You just feel very relaxed and nice.
Okay, great. Well, we have a special treat for you, right? We have a demonstration.
Yes.
So can you tell us about who are we going to have demonstrating for us the trails, or at least one of the trails?
Right.
A
so
small section of
one
the
of the
trail.
trail is Ajamu. He'll be coming up on Trail 4.
Right?
Right?
So while we're waiting for him,
yes,
so folks, you are going to get your own view of what part of this, and I'm saying it's part because it's a lot bigger than what we're going to see.
He's going over the inverted wall. That's a shoulder exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going on the monkey bar. That's another arms exercise. And you're going up everyone's favorite, the cargo net.
So pretty much kind of like what you see on TV.
Yes, yes.
With what the army trains on and so on, right?
Yes.
And how long does it take to master some of these things?
It doesn't go no time at all, because to climb, everyone can climb. Now you're going over the yellow beam, another shoulder exercise, and then there's the spider web. It's a leg exercise, and then he's going down. There he goes.
Down to the, yeah, like I said, where you see the Jamu going there, it's going straight down there. There's a bigger trail down there.
Yes, a bigger trail.
Right? And what are some of the things that are a part of that trail?
Every trail is different.
Mm-hmm.
Every trail, I designed it so it can work a different part of your legs, your core. This is to build your core, to make you strong and able to do normal things that is do every day.
Mm-hmm.
We have 6 trails and every one of them is different.
Okay, great. Well, I want to thank you so much for speaking with us and, letting us be here. And I don't know if there's any kind of message that you want to give to our viewers about why is it so important and why they should come to Define Fitness.
To come and to experience how wonderful and amazing here is.
Okay, great. All right, well, folks, it is now 7:50 in the morning, and I just want to say that it's been such a pleasure speaking with you. It's been such a pleasure being here. I actually think I might come out and, get rid of some of the things, get rid of some of the food and the happy living that we had in the last few days, and just try to get back in shape, because of course that is so important. And folks, that's it from me, Candice Jackson, and we were live here in Pasca Village in Lambo, and it is back to you in studio.
Candice.
Yes, Julian.
Good morning and Happy New Year to you.
Good morning.
Oh, Happy New Year. Yes, my bad. I forgot. Happy New Year. I was also excited about being here. But Happy New Year to you, Julian, and Taria, and the whole team, and of course, all of Tobago.
And all the best to you as well.
We know you are not normally dressed in those fashionable boots, and that's probably the only reason we didn't see you going through those tires this morning.
Yeah, I think I need to be in different clothes, different attire before I could get through this.
Well, Rhea said the next time you're on one of these outdoor shots, she will definitely like to join in.
I'm trying to figure out when Rhea said that. I'm not sure when Rhea said that, but certainly I can see Julian going through the monkey bars. I can see Julian. So I think the next time that you're out there, Candice, we're going to be joining you. I'm going to do whatever it takes to build the legs. Julian is building the arms. So you'll see us there next time.
Of course.
Okay?
It will
Thank
be
you
a
very much.
teamwork exercise, right?
Yes.
And of course,
yes.
I mean, we want like groups of persons to come, and it's fun to do that as well, right?
More the merrier. More the
Right.
merrier.
Thank you very much,
Okay,
Timothy
great.
and Candice.
So yes. So next time, you all could come down, and we're gonna have a ball of a time.
Yes.
Ria will lead the way. Not a problem. Thank you very much, Candice. And at this point, just before we run off, though, Ria, to Devon Adana, I just wanted to make that correction, folks. My grandmother called me while I was offset. It's not Cockalika Bush this morning. I'm drinking Greater Wood. All right? Greater Wood this morning. Thank you very much, Granny.
And the birthday greeting for JL Stewart.
Yes, for JL Stewart, coming out from your mom there, sending you birthday blessings, courtesy the Tobago updates. All right? So at this point, we go to this day in Tobago history. Devon, welcome back. It's Monday, the 3rd of January, with Devon Adana.
Happy New Year to you both. This day in Tobago history. Did you know that on January 3rd, 1958, the British Caribbean became a federation? According to worldstatesmen.org, 64 years ago today, 10 British Caribbean countries and territories became what was known as the Federation of the West Indies, or more commonly, the British Caribbean Federation. The countries were Antigua with Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, Jamaica, who came with the Cayman Islands and the Turks and Caicos, Montserrat, St. Christopher Nevis, Anguilla, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and Trinidad and Tobago. Noteworthy for Tobago was that according to Larry Luke's book, Identity and Secession in the Caribbean, the Tobago representative, A.P.T. James, felt strongly that Tobago should have its own representation in the Federation, with a separate voice on all issues and in all forums, even in the Parliament of the British West Indies Federation. A.P.T. James expressed the view that if Tobago's infrastructure, sea communication, and social services were improved and its agricultural, fishing, and tourism resources developed, the island could once again achieve economic viability and thus free itself from dependency on the Trinidad Treasury. The Federation was short-lived, however, and came to an end on the 31st of May, 1962, which was 4 months after the death of A.P.T. James and 3 months before Trinidad and Tobago gained independence from Britain. According to CARICOM.org, the Federation's demise started with the withdrawal of Jamaica, its largest member. Their withdrawal led to Jamaica seeking and securing independence from Britain. But Jamaica's act also gave us the now infamous statement by Dr. Eric Williams, then Premier of Trinidad and Tobago, and by this time a potent adversary of A.P.T. James, that 1 from 10 leaves naught. You've been watching This Day in Tobago History. My name is Devon Adana. Many happy New Year to all of our viewers. Back to you in studio.
Thank you very much there, Devon Adana. All right. So in this segment, folks, we continue the discussions this morning with Khadija, recording artist. And this morning, she's going to be chatting with us a little bit about an upcoming video launch. But just before we go into that, viewers, I know it's Monday, the 3rd of January, 2022, and you're saying Khadija. Who is Khadija? Let's get a little insight. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So we're going to start off there immediately. Tell our viewers a little bit about who is Khadija. Is Khadija totally new to the entertainment industry? You've been around for a while. Tell us a little bit about Khadija.
So definitely been around for a while, doing this a while, like most other artists, you know, just looking for that come up, looking for that blue into everybody's eyes, you know. So I've been doing it professionally since I was 17, starting off with, you know, this band, the Divine Echoes, right? So I was part of that band for like 4 years. So I got a lot of experience and stuff there, working with different musicians, learning to read music, all these things, songwriting and stuff like that. And then I took it further by joining a few soca bands and stuff like that as a lead frontline singer. And well, yeah, and then I branched off and I decided to, you know, focus really on me as an upcoming act.
All right,
so, yeah.
Excellent. What part of Tobago are you from, Khadija?
Well, baritone number 2 for the past, you know. I've been here for a while, just working with Baby Thumb production, just getting the work in and stuff like that. So
Well, you know, I asked that obviously because you're from my area. So we literally, you know, of course, kudos to Bagatelle this morning.
Yes.
Highlighting the outstanding talent that we present there within the within this piece. We want to zone in a little bit more now this morning to your upcoming video launch. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right, so I recently released my latest single, Priceless, right? And you're probably going to ask how it came about and stuff like that. I like to write from experience. Not only my experience, but things, you know, having conversations with people, things that they go through and stuff like that. You know, it's like, okay, I could put this into a song so they can relate and stuff. So yeah, it's a priceless moment.
So would this have been is this the first for you, or you've been involved in, you would have done others before?
Yes, I have done others before, so you can check them out on YouTube. I have a few other music videos before, but this one is the latest.
So this one is the latest.
Yes.
So going in a little bit more into Priceless, and I'm hoping we'll be able to pull it up at some point within the lineup of our interview. Tell the viewers, oh, actually we have it up, so we're going to zone in there a bit. All right. So tell us a little bit, where was this in terms of some of the backgrounds, the areas that it was shot and so on?
Well, a lot was in a home,
Right.
in the backyard, basically, you know. But you had to make it look good. Some was by the beach as well. So yeah, it was a very long day trying to, you know, you're going whole day because you're trying to get the best sunlight, the best light and everything.
So tell us a little bit more about Priceless itself. What does this song speak to?
So the song basically is me like talking about my feelings towards someone that I'm with, you know, like I want that person to know how it is I feel about them, even though they might not be fully vocal. I know like they love me and stuff like that. I really want them to know like, hey, this is how I really, really feel about you, and this relationship is priceless to me. It means everything to me, and I cherish it.
So are you does that speak to, let me get a little personal here now. One of those, you know, sometimes people say we ought not to be in a space where you only express and give because you feel someone has given to you. So is it about speaking that people should be honest with their feelings no matter the circumstance and not necessarily put pressure on the other?
Exactly. You just be honest with your feelings. Sometimes honesty, sorry, could take it a long, long way. There are some people, you know, they just keep their feelings inside, you know, they just don't let you know, and you have to read them by just watching their eyes or something like that. Or they think you can read their mind. I just like to be vocal.
Excellent.
Being vocal is good.
And what would you say in terms of, you know, I know that you said you've been involved in this from as early as 17. Words of encouragement for other persons getting into the industry and feeling like, oh my God, in the Tobago space, it's going to be difficult for me. I better not waste time with this.
You have to put in the work, and content is very important. When you're doing music video, visual is important. You can't do a music video and want to look like, you know, the Cardi B's and the Rihanna's. They have that money, you know, so just put out content, make it as simple as possible. I'm not ashamed to say, hello, a lot of those videos that I did are clothes on my wall, my wardrobe. You know, I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars on looking like I'm a billionaire. No, that time will come.
You deal with it in the time. And what can we look forward to from Khadija as we head into 2022 and going forward? What are you excited about as we look to wrap this morning's interview?
I have a lot more coming, a lot more music videos, a lot more songs and stuff like that. More up to go, you know. You'll see me a lot.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Khadija.
Thank you very much for
from
having me.
Bagatelle. Yes, so folks, that's in Scarborough, Tobago. All right. And we want to thank her here this morning in this segment. And we'll wrap this segment for you to hear the video launch.
I don't know about you, but I'm loving these days, loving these moments you spend with me, loving these feelings you give to me, yeah. Moments like these make good memories, loving you, it's my priority. Something you do to me, something you do to me, yeah. You and me forever, we can take this world on together. Rain, sunshine, never separate from each other. Forever, dancing the night all together. Hold me close, baby. Hold me close. Rain down, biddy dong, dong, dong. Rain down, biddy dong, dong, dong. Rain down. Wherever we go, it's me and you. Cherishing moments I spend with you. Yeah, yeah. It takes two hearts to clap. So many are so mad. What we gonna do, baby? What we gonna do, baby? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You, me forever.
Yes, viewers, and welcome back. And in this final segment, we just want to say it's the first working day of the year, Monday, the 3rd of January. All those, we want to wish you the very best. Those of you out to school this morning, some within your online, going back to that virtual platform. Yes, Lavienne, I know you're getting ready at this point to head back on to virtual school. And for those who are going to be out in person, as well as those heading back out from the public service this morning, we want to wish you the very best from the Tobago Updates family.
So have a great day, Tobago, and all of those viewing us on the live. Have a great day. Stay safe. Remember to wear your mask, sanitize, and socially distance. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.